Navigating today's real estate market can be tricky. Want to buy or sell a house, finance or insure a house, or stuck with a house and don't know what to do? Florida Talk Real Estate has been your local one-stop real estate shop since 2012. Get the advice you need from your local real estate pros. Here are your hosts, Jim DiPaola and Johnny C. live on Real Radio.
1, 2, 3. Chip.
Try one more time.
Chip.
I was typing.
Chip.
I heard
Chip.
we're gonna go 1, 2, clap, clap.
That's what we're gonna do.
And then Johnny said 1, 2, 3, and I was like, oh, what just happened?
Okay, let's try
Well, the
it
good
again.
news is that we weren't even close. So what are we doing? 1, 2, clap, clap?
Yeah. Ready?
Okay. 1, 2. Is that close enough?
Yeah, that was good enough. Thanks, guys.
Hey, if you're wondering if we are live, yes, these antics are live on the 29th of November. Hope you had a nice Thanksgiving. Welcome to another edition of Florida Talk Real Estate. Radio being done like only we can do. It's 2 hours of infotainment. We're talking real estate. I see you out there, 92.1, 101.7. What's up? We are live streaming. That's why we're clapping, y'all. So you can get a great experience with the live stream, specifically after the fact. Find us on Facebook and YouTube. That's Florida Talk Real Estate on Facebook, Florida Talk Real Estate LLC on YouTube, home of a ton of informational chunk videos. Consume. Thanks for being out there always. And you're welcome to be a part of the program. 877-927-6969. Questions, comments, concerns in the world of real estate. Jimothy, our producer extraordinaire, he'll line you up. At least I believe he will. What's up, my dude?
Sure will. Good morning. Happy Saturday, gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of this wonderful show.
Come on now. Did you clap?
I don't have it.
Man, you got to clap
No.
with us.
It doesn't work for me.
I like to think everybody out there listening is clapping with us. And they were all disappointed in Jim, too. Like, we're like, come on, Jim.
I know. I was sitting there typing.
Good to see you, buddy. Happy Thanksgiving.
Good to see you as well.
Well, let's get to the important people. Not me. I'm just your old buddy, your old pal, Johnny C. But Ross Komarinetz with Brightwing Insurance, Juno Beach. Pretty damn important to this team. What's up, my friend?
Not a whole lot. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving to you as
I'd say
well.
nice to see you, Johnny, but
You can't.
I feel like you're behind a wall.
Yeah, I know you're there, though.
Yeah.
You know what's easy? It's cool for me? I can see the back of your camera, and I can see you. But you
I
can't
see. Yeah.
see me.
Right.
Good
All right.
to see you.
Oh.
Pun intended.
Nice to hear you.
Pleasure's mine. I hope you had a nice Thanksgiving. Speaking of hoping I had a nice Thanksgiving, our fearless leader, 13 plus years now, I've told you he runs a top producing Keller Williams team. It's the Florida Home Pros team with Keller Williams Innovations. There's Jimmy D. Jim DiPaola, how you be?
Hey, I'm doing good. I'm glad to be back in Florida after a nice trip out to Tennessee.
Nice.
Actually, I went out to Townsend, Tennessee, which is near Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg. I'd never been there before.
Oh, cool.
And we've had
That's that's Eastern Tennessee?
Eastern.
Yes.
Eastern. And we had about 3 or 4 customers over the last 2 or 3 years that have all moved to Pigeon Forge or Gatlinburg area. So it was, and Townsend. So it was very interesting to go out there and see what everybody was so happy about moving out there.
Nice.
A lot of people moving out there. The people that moved out there were people who were looking for a slower lifestyle, more affordability for housing, and just regular costs. And none of them really seemed too concerned about trying to get a job out there. I always wondered, like, what are you going to do when you go there, right? But everybody seemed like I'll get a job when I get up there. And they felt like because the affordability was so low that they weren't going to have the same
Income
that they were having down here.
Yep.
However, when I looked on homes.com, checking out properties up there just to see what was going on, 2-bedroom, 2-bath. Now they're nice cabins, but they're 1,000 square feet or so. And deals are like $365, $385. So,
Wow.
That isn't that much different, like Port
No.
St. Lucie prices.
Mhm.
And frankly, 3 bedrooms were really in the 6s.
In Port St. Lucie, for $386, you can get like a 4-bedroom.
Ross, you're so far behind.
I don't know.
The average home.
What is it now?
400 and some odd
Is it
thousand
really?
is the average home in Port
So
St.
I
Lucie
got
right
I
now.
got my drip. Yeah, claps and drips.
Yeah.
I have my drip from Florida Talk Real Estate from Jim, who set up on my search for my home. My Port St. Lucie's, I'm gonna say probably 1 in 6 properties probably has a 3 in the first number. There's a lot of 4s in the first numbers up there. Yeah,
And that's
but those are all going to be 3 bedrooms.
most of them are going to be 3 bedrooms, or larger.
yeah. With
But
a pool. I mean, that's part of my
Mhm.
my inclusion.
And that area is really being undercut right now, where new construction is just stripping out the resale really bad up there. So it's really hurting the resale sellers right now. If you don't nail the price, you're going to go through a lot of pain.
That's not uniquely that area of Tennessee, though, is it? I mean, that's kind of.
Oh no, I'm talking about Port St. Lucie there. Okay, I was talking about Port. I'm sorry, I was back to PSL. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because I was going to say we have the same issues here.
No, I don't know. I would.
Yeah, evidently Port St. Lucie. Yeah,
And I was a little surprised to see very few Keller Williams signs out there. It was mostly Remax was a big company out there, and EXP, but not so much. I saw a couple of KW signs, but not that much out there.
I'm surprised that you didn't find the KW centers out there and pop in. And
I was
be like, hey, what's going
so
on?
on vacation, dude. I
It
needed
just seems so Jimmy
bad.
D,
Just I know, but I was so
pushed away from it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was
Good for you.
I was so shot. I
Good for you.
just needed a break.
That's a good recharge.
Yeah, and it was really nice. We had a really good time. I went to Dollywood. I'd never been to Dollywood before. So
Was that awesome?
It was good.
I've never been either.
It was good. The food was horrible, but what do you expect? You're in a park.
It's
but
an amusement type park, right? But not quite an amusement park.
No, it's an amusement park, but it isn't on steroids like Disney World, but it's really, really nice. And I got to tell you, the customer service out there, like all the restaurants, the convenience stores, every place that you went, everybody's so laid back compared to down here. It's really,
Well, you're in the South.
yeah. And I
You gotta
wasn't
go north to get south.
Yeah, you have to go
Ambitious.
north to get south.
Welcome to South Florida.
And it was a vacation area, so people are have that more mentality.
Sure.
But it was so nice. And right when we left in Pigeon Forge, pretty sure it was in Gatlinburg, but in Pigeon Forge, there's this downtown area that's kind of like walking down Duval Street, but countrified.
Really?
Right? Yeah, it's pretty cool. And the day we were leaving,
That's an image, isn't it?
yeah, countrified
So
Key West.
We
right?
still got the buttless chaps. It's just there's some spurs jangled in a little bit.
But when we were,
I want to be nice.
he likes the word
Thanksgiving was
buttless.
just the other day.
Oh, you said buttless. So
There might be children listening.
it was funny. So there was a big gigantic black bear that was on top of one of the buildings we were on the day before.
Are
and
we
that
still
was pretty
talking
cool.
about buttless chaps?
Yeah,
Nice.
So
I don't care if the kids are out there or not.
yeah.
Anymore.
So
We still got it.
we had a really good time, and I was just checking out. I wanted to see what was going on up there. I thought that was kind of interesting. Now, a lot of reasons that people from Florida are moving to Tennessee specifically, as opposed to Georgia or North Carolina, which are also big areas for people to consider.
Can I guess?
Yep, you know it.
Gotta be income tax.
Yep,
right?
gotta be state income
Gotta
tax.
be.
Yeah. So the state income tax there is none in state of Tennessee, which is really nice. And
We know. We enjoy that as well.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Here in Florida.
So anyway, we had a really good time up there, and thank you so much. We had the rerun last week because of that. I did, but I played.
We're a
hard-
rerun?
We had a
I was
rerun
listening to that. I
last
thought we were live.
week.
I was
And
like, man, this is live, isn't it?
but we were hardcore because I did the show, and then as soon as we left the show, I went straight from the show up to Tennessee and drove the 850 miles up there. So
Nice. What'd you do? 12 hours, 14 hours?
it was 13 and a half hours.
All right,
yeah.
sweet.
Yeah.
And Atlanta was the nightmare.
We got it. It was the worst part, but it wasn't the worst of Atlanta I've been through. I've been through way worse Atlanta.
I've been in Atlanta where you're like, we're never getting out of here.
I wouldn't want to
Ever.
live in Atlanta. It's beautiful out there.
Congested.
People are nice, but I can't take the traffic. Same as Miami. It's
Yeah.
like, why do you want to put yourself, or LA? Why would you want to put yourself through that? It's
Right.
just not worth it.
Totally.
I was listening to Bill Barr comedy thing on the radio recently.
Bill Burr.
Bill Burr. Did I say Barr?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Okay,
our
that's
old-
the different guy.
That's
That's
our-
a different guy.
It's our old
Bill
AG.
Burr. Yeah. So imagine if Bill Barr was a comedian.
Hey,
That'd
you
be
know what?
funny.
He might have the chops. You never know.
So Bill Burr was talking about how he hated moving to Los Angeles because of the traffic. And he was like, I can see my house, but he's like hours away. I can see my house. I can just get out of my car and walk. But I can't. I'm going to be here for 3 hours.
That's funny.
Anyway,
That's reality, though.
got a lot to talk about this week. If you, since we've been off for a little bit, I wanted to go into a bunch of stuff about what people think is going to happen in 2026. To me, it's very interesting right now. There's a lot of things in play. There's a lot of figures coming out. We had the CPI, Consumer Price Index, come out. We had a jobs report come out, although I think it was a little behind the times. I think it was the September jobs report. People are predicting what the interest rates are going to be next year. They're predicting how is the housing market going to be. We have major upturns in the industry where we lost a tremendous amount of realtors. At one point, we were over 2 million realtors in the country. We're below 1.6 right now, and I think we're even below lower than that.
Were they talking like active, or did they just completely give up the license?
Well, it's kind of interesting because normally when they gave out these figures, how many realtors there were, you would just assume that that's how many agents were kind of running around because almost all agents were realtors, and you don't have to be, right? If you're a real estate agent before, you could not join the MLS, the multiple listing service.
Okay.
And that's the lifeblood of any realtor. So almost everybody joined. Like, why wouldn't you?
Right.
Some people wouldn't, like maybe investors who wanted to have a license but didn't want to be a realtor or something like that. And that's the difference between a realtor and an agent. A realtor is an agent, but they're at a higher quote standard. I'm putting that in quotes, where you have to take an ethics, sworn ethics, and you could be kicked out of the group. I call it like a union. It's really a union for agents.
But when you say kicked out of the group, it's more like I would consider it more like a disbarring, right? I mean, it's not like you're hey, get out of the group. It's like you lose your license because you're so
could lose
unethical.
your license or be suspended. You can have your license
like
suspended.
Lawyers.
You could be on double whammy probation.
Right? Like lawyers in a way. You're held
exactly.
to a standard.
Yes, and you have a board that you got to go before.
Right.
In Orlando, the board's in Orlando.
Right.
Thank God I've never been in that.
Seriously.
My old partner Rob almost had to get sucked into that one time. He never got that far because the complaint was kicked out right away. But the difference is now, the reason why I'm bringing all that up is you don't have to be a realtor to have access to the MLS anymore. So what that's saying is that they enjoy everything that the MLS has, but they're not taking the oath to uphold certain standards that the Realtors Association would want you to swear to.
Sure.
Right?
And there's no cost to being I'm sure there's a fee for your registration.
Oh yeah, that's why I say it's like a union. It's like a union.
So it could be that they're avoiding the ethical aspect, or it could probably is they're just avoiding the cost.
A lot of them are just doing it for costs. Like a lot of them, they won't even pay for the super electronic lockbox, which to me is ridiculous that you won't do that because it's $7.99 a month or something. And you have to be a realtor.
You have to be a realtor to use it. Right.
And that means the only person that can get into the box is a licensed realtor, and it picks up your the signal. It's an electronic lockbox, so it picks up who you are when you go in and you go out. So there's a record of what happened in that showing.
I know this is totally off base, but just because you bring these up, have you heard any issues with those things being hacked? Because I mean, like every key fob now, every garage door opener, like everything can be super hacked at this point. Have those had issues?
I've not ever heard of that being hacked.
Huh.
I'm not saying it hasn't happened, but I haven't heard it. And
doesn't it have to go through your phone too?
Yeah, you use an app in your phone. That's what you have to do. I guess there's a way where you can set up a code and you do a code, but I still think you use your phone. But when you're talking to an agent and they say they don't have Supra, you know that you're dealing with an agent that's not in production. I mean, you don't even have to look up their stats.
Right, they're not willing to spend $8 a month.
Right. And that's to protect your customer. Right. That's how I look at it. It's a protection for the customer. And it is an inconvenience to the agent a lot of times, because then you have the bozo agents that don't have the Supra oh, I can't get into the place. I want to show the property, and you want them to see the property.
Right. So
Right.
you have to end up going
So we
over
have to end up dealing with it. But that's okay. I mean, that's part of the business, and it's cost of doing business, and I'm not complaining. I'm just grateful anytime we have showings.
Well, this isn't about you. This is about
customers.
Well, and about you're talking about realtors giving up. We had a huge drop in realtors and some of the reasoning behind it.
So when we say we have a drop of from 2 million to about 1.6, 1.5 million, I don't know how many of that is people that actually quit, because years before that's what it meant basically.
Right.
But now it could be, you know what? I'm going to stay being an agent, but I'm not paying you anymore, and I'm still going to use the MLS.
That's tough to
and
tell.
there's I'm not saying that necessarily is a bad thing right now, because there's a lot of craziness going on in the real estate industry. There's big lawsuits against Zillow. They're trying to make Zillow, what do you call that? Not a RICO, but a monopoly. They're saying that Zillow is becoming too big and it's got too many things under its belt right now.
Who's going after them?
Oh, there's a bunch of lawsuits from sellers, and I'm not sure about buyers. So there's a bunch of lawsuits between brokerages and Zillow. Compass is one of the biggest ones that's having a big fight with Zillow right now. And then you have also the MLS is fighting with Zillow, and Zillow's fighting with the MLS. There's a lot of stuff going on in the industry. We're probably going to, in the next 2 to 3 years, we're probably going to go through a lot of changes, but nobody knows what will work, because that whole buyer's agent commission thing, that didn't make any change whatsoever at all to affordability for houses.
And that was the whole reason behind it, wasn't it?
The whole reason was they felt that realtors were artificially increasing prices.
This was going after NAR, right? The
National Association of Realtors. And what the argument was is that sellers were being forced to offer a commission to a buyer's agent,
right,
even if they didn't want to, right? And because of that, sellers would then raise the price of their house to make up the difference for that cost.
That was the premise.
Right. But it didn't work that way, because you know what? There's a whole thing that I learned in college when I was a freshman called supply and demand.
Well, and the whole time,
that matters too. And they didn't take that as like being 85% of the reason why prices adjust and commissions adjust.
Of course. The whole time it was a negotiable aspect of the contract anyway. It really was a ridiculous stripping of something. Again, I guess the effort was affordability crisis. So we'll go after the realtors because they make too much money on these transactions, and it was never going to get to that end game.
You know who won?
Who's that?
The
lawyers. The lawyers won, just
because they get 40%
like an insurance industry guy.
40% of that settlement.
Yep.
Right.
Or whatever.
Exactly. Right.
20%. Whatever you want to call
whatever it is.
They always win.
And
don't they?
and the thing
and
is,
nothing changes.
Yep. And nothing changes. And
Except more paperwork.
And what people don't get is that when I started in real estate, roughly 2010-ish, I dabbled for a little bit till I really started the show in 2012. The average commission was basically 3%. Sometimes you were getting 3.5% and 4% as a listing agent, right? Buyer's agents were normally getting 3%, right? So people were paying 5 to 7% for real estate commissions. Then we had the crash. Then the banks refused, because the banks were like 45% of all the sellers in the country. The banks are like, no, we're not paying you that. We're going to pay you this. So the commissions started dropping because the sellers, the banks, right, were saying, we're not paying you that. And I used to have to negotiate with the banks all the time when I was doing short sales to try to get a larger commission.
Because again, that's a negotiable aspect of the contract.
And sometimes I won and sometimes the bank won. And It didn't matter. We just did what we had to do. Now that's okay, because it's part of the negotiations, like buying a car.
You have this negotiation every time, I would imagine. Well, potentially.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you say, here's what I would like as a commission. And if there's no negotiation to be had, there's no, but I'm sure people counter.
But they do. And I always start off saying the first thing you need to know, and this is before the federal regulations changed, I used to say, in Florida, real estate commissions are like the wild, wild west. That was my script. If anybody's listening that heard me do a listing presentation, it's like, yeah, I've heard that.
I've heard it.
And I go, Florida's like the wild, wild west. And what I would say is, as the listing agent, Johnny, if you convince me to do this listing for 0% commission, that's legal and you win. And if I convince Ross that I want to sell his house and I want a 10% commission and he agrees to, and he wants to give me a 10% commission, that's legal, I win. So everything's negotiable. Just keep that in mind. And then I say, this is what I'm going to ask you. And at the end, we're going to talk about it. Right. So that way they have it in their head and they can think about it as we're going through everything.
Sure.
Right. But most agents didn't do that. And a lot of agents would say you have to give 3%. And they used to do that. Right. The listing agent would tell the sellers, not all listing agents,
Right.
but ones that either weren't informed or didn't care.
Well, they deliver it as this is the way it is. You deliver it as the reality. This is negotiable. And I'm going to tell you why I'm asking for this, and I'll show you. And if you think it's worth it, then we'll land there.
Yeah. And that way I feel like everybody's well-informed and they make proper decisions. And things can change because when you put the house on the market, if you're not getting what you want, commissions on the buyer's side for sure, right? And the listing side, right? Can be renegotiated. Well, if I'm going to take this offer, I want to change the terms. But the thing that's really interesting about all that is as the inventory started getting tighter, and remember we went through after the COVID during the COVID boom, real estate commissions pretty much dropped to 2.5% from 3% to 2.5% on average. Naturally, without anybody doing anything. Why? Supply and demand.
Market dictated it.
Yeah, market dictated it. Why am I going to pay 3% to you, Johnny, if Ross is coming in without an agent? I don't have to pay him anything.
Right.
Or why am I paying you, Johnny, 3% when Ross's person is going to do it for 1.5%? And he's giving me the same price, right? And that all became wheeler dealer and commissions dropped. My commission has dropped. I just did my annual stats for the year. My commission dropped compared to 3 years ago, 0.4% overall.
Almost 0.5%.
And yeah, almost 0.5% overall. And that is a function of the market. It wasn't anything else. It was market's a little slower, harder competition when you're getting the listing, right? There's more people because there's so few listings out there comparatively that people don't, it isn't like shooting a fish in the barrel anymore. And some people are undercut you. I got undercut twice in the last couple months with agents that were charging a slightly less commission, not
Nothing aggressive, right?
Yeah, because negotiations, you can make up that difference in a second. But they took agents that wasn't as seasoned as me. Now, maybe they'll do a good job and maybe they won't. I hope they do.
Sure.
I want everybody to do well in real estate. But that's the way. So anyway, there's a lot of changes going on that we kind of got off track, but there's so many changes going on. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. But let me just do a couple of shout outs, if you don't mind. My first shout out's going to be to Greek and Franny from the Penthouse for the turkey drive that they did last week. The Florida Talk Real Estate Show donated some money, a $500 raffle ticket. And it was kind of cool how they did it. They had bags of groceries like onions and carrots and stuff, like a bag, and then a free frozen turkey, right?
From DiMartino
Produce.
So this year, DiMartino Produce has given produce for many years.
Yeah,
now.
many years.
This year, I heard that they actually supplied the turkeys as well. So they really stepped in massively this year.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, hats off to them. They've been a big part of it over the years, but huge part of it this year.
I had to leave a little early while they were giving everything out. It was fun giving out the bags to everybody and everything. But I know that there had to be probably 80 families that were helped at that point before I left.
Awesome.
And that was awesome.
Great.
What was cool is the raffle tickets, there were 4 or 5 of them. Some were for $100 and there was one for $500. They put them in the bag.
With
just a little voucher thing.
I
right?
thought they put them on the back of a old Doc's bumper sticker. I heard it was the
I didn't
either
know.
way we're screwed bumper stickers.
Oh, that's so. I would have taken one of them if I knew that was there. Darn it. So, but anyway, it was a really great event. And thank you, Crazy Horse Saloons, for supporting them. And Thank you, Franny and Greek, for allowing us to be part of it. I was really happy to do that. I'd like to do it every year.
Thank you for being a part of it.
Well, it's all of us.
Yeah,
it's all of us.
Well,
so.
don't look
Johnny,
at me.
you did great.
You guys are amazing.
You did great. I mean, if
Thank
you
you,
weren't
Ross.
there, the whole operation would fall apart.
You guys just make me honored to be the voice.
So it's
The first and the last voice you hear.
so it was really, really good experience. And let me tell you, I almost teared up as soon as I walked in. There was this older lady. Her name is Michelle, and we started talking. Really nice lady. She had a walker, and she explained to me that she had lost her house to foreclosure, and she has like 3 different types of cancers, and she's at stage 4.
Oh.
And she was over there not to pick up food, but to donate like 4 bags of groceries to help other people.
That's amazing.
And the lady doesn't have any place to live. Right. I mean,
amazing.
Is that amazing, Michelle? She's a real radio fan, been listening forever. And I think she ended up short selling her home or something, but she got hardly any money at all.
Oh.
And then she was able to keep it as, rent for a little while, and then she ran out of money. But she was over there giving out donations to help other people because she said she knows what it was like to be hungry.
You had a need like that, and she has a tremendous need. That's wow.
And
amazing.
it just shows you the need that's out there. So just remember that during the holiday seasons and everything. And I'm going to throw it out here one more time. We're about ready to buy that computer for the kids for the Knights of Pythagoras Mentoring Network, which is KOP Mentoring Network. And this computer is going to be used for their podcasts that they've been running for 5 years. Their computer's so old that and outdated that it keeps crashing on them during the podcast. And these are all kids like middle schoolers to high schoolers that are putting together a podcast by themselves where they book the guests, they do the layouts, they do the live broadcast, they
Great
run
experience.
the show. And so we're trying to raise money for charity. Ross Komarinetz from Brightway Insurance is giving a huge donation. Paul Krasker from the law office, Paul Krasker, is going to be giving out some money.
Awesome.
Of course, the Florida Home Pros, Keller Williams, I'm going to be doing it. But we're really looking for a couple other people to help out. Nate S., I'm not going to say his last name on the air, but he has also went into the Facebook post we had where you can click on the link to donate money. But that link is very complicated to get to, and we didn't have a really good response, even though I put it out on our weekly newsletter too. So anybody interested in helping out those kids, please give me a call. All you got to do is reach out to us through Florida Talk Real Estate. We have so many ways, John.
Sure. Probably the best way would be on Facebook. Be like, hey, Jim, I want to donate. Of course, you can go to floridatalkrealestate.com. There's a hotline. You can call it 888-973-7828. Contact page. You can fill that out. Lots of ways to get in touch. Just give you 3 really good ways right there. But always remember floridatalkrealestate.com. Your access to the entire team, whether you're looking to donate for these kids, Knights of Pythagoras Mentoring Network, or you need a professional in the world of real estate. You want a break?
Yes, let's go ahead and take a break. On this flip side, we're going to do the clap one more time.
Okay.
And
well.
I'm surprised that
Can we
Johnny,
get better? Are we going to practice?
and I'm surprised Johnny hasn't sued us yet, because the headline for one of my most clicked on emails in the last several weekly emails was Johnny C's got the clap.
Old news.
And that
That's
subject
so
line
old
got people to click on it.
Yeah.
That was clicktate.
Yeah, how about that?
I've
And
done
then
that
I
since
wrote
the
on the
90s.
second headline when you clicked on it, it says, and that's a good thing.
I thought you had that trademark, John.
Dude, I keep failing at my attempts. It's amazing what you can and can't get locked up.
Damn it.
Where was I? FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. That's right. You should absolutely write that down. Know it, use it, love it, share it is the way I like to put it. Because when you're looking to buy a home, sell a home, stuck with a home, you don't know what to do. If you need a professional in the world of real estate, I have one for you. One click away, FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. Again, on Facebook and YouTube, lots to consume. But that .com, if you need it, is there for you. And again, when I say share it, you never know. You can change lives, including your very own. Because not everybody talks about all the details. Not everyone's like, man, I'm drowning. You're not going to get all the details. You get some of the details, but you just give them a resource. And sometimes they're going to reach back later and be like, hey, thank you very much for sharing that, because you don't know, but they helped save my house, or they helped me get into a new home, or whatever the situation is. I'm telling you, pros at FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. 4 minutes from now, we get back at it. It is the 29th of November. I hope you had a nice Thanksgiving. We are live on this Saturday, and you can be a part of it. Toll free, 877-927-6969. Dial in, 4-minute break, and we're back at it on a Saturday. It's Florida Talk Real Estate right here on Real Radio.
The visual aid you need for all the freaky stuff we talk about on the radio. Find it at realradio921.com. Here's what's happening with the weather on Real Radio.
I'm CBS 12 meteorologist Charlotte Carl. It's going to be a pleasant afternoon, mostly dry skies. We'll keep about a 20% chance for a brief coastal shower in the forecast. Overnight, that chance will remain. We'll see cloud cover diminish once we get past midnight. Lows only dropping into the 60s and lower 70s.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Indeed Sponsored Jobs gives your job posting a turbo boost. Match with the candidates you're looking for, making your hiring simple. Visit Indeed.com/credit. Again, that's Indeed.com/credit.
Hey, it's your boy Johnny C here, host of Florida Talk Real Estate. They're tops when it comes to helping people buy and sell houses. But Florida Talk Real Estate is so much more than that. For 5 years, I've watched these guys help thousands of our listeners with any real estate need. They couldn't do it without their sponsors, who are experts in their fields. Check it out. Jim DiPaola, powered by Keller Williams Realty. Their team specializes in helping people sell their house for top dollar, and buyers get great deals on the purchase of their home. That's what they did for me and my family, and I couldn't be happier that I hired them for my real estate transaction. Mike Rao from the mortgage firm is one of our favorite guests on the show, and he is the mortgage guy. Whether you're looking for a refi or a mortgage to purchase a new home, Mike Rao will get you the answers you need. The mortgage firm is licensed to do loans in Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia, and they have local offices that cover all of South Florida. So if you're thinking about a refi or a new mortgage, go to the mortgage guy, Mike Rao, and find out what he can do for you. The Mortgage Firm, Inc., NMLS 189233, Florida license MLD 78, equal housing lender. The law office of Paul A. Krasker has been specializing in real estate law for nearly 25 years and has the professional team you need. Upside down with your house, Paul's team can help you conduct short sales, loan modifications, even if you're behind on payments. They also help you with foreclosure defense and bankruptcy. They can even help you get a student loan modification and repair your credit to get the score you need. Paul's full-service team has helped thousands of our listeners, and they can help you too. Trident Title LLC is the largest privately owned title company in Florida. When you need a title company to complete a refi, home purchase, or sale, Trident Title has got you covered. Not only do they offer competitive pricing, Trident Title has attorneys on staff to make sure if you have bumps in the road declaring title, that you can get the job done. Beware, not all title companies in Florida have attorneys on staff. Trident Title does and complies with all the new federal regulations released last year. Ross Komarinetz, owner of Brightway Insurance, has been helping our listeners get great rates on homeowners insurance plans. Haven't checked your homeowners insurance policy in a while? This is a great way to help reduce your monthly mortgage payment. Ross can also help with renters and auto insurance. Ross is only a phone call away and can usually get the answers you need same day.
Call Ross today at 561-425-6228 or drop by his office at 873 Donald Ross Road in Juno Beach.
So now you know why I'm happy to be part of the Florida Talk Real Estate Show, the longest running real estate show in Florida. And all these sponsors are just a phone call or a click away. Just call 888-973-7828. That's 888-973-7828. Or go to floridatalkrealestate.com. That's floridatalkrealestate.com. And don't forget to use the most accurate search engine to find your new home or ask for a free home valuation, because floridatalkrealestate.com has you covered. That's floridatalkrealestate.com.
This is Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7. Real talk for the Palm Beaches and the Treasure Coast. This is Florida Talk Real Estate with Jim DiPaola and Johnny C. Got a question for the show? Call us live at 1-877-927-6969.
1, 2.
Close enough.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Hey. Jimothy was off a little bit. Let's do one more just for,
Okay.
so I feel better about it, right? 1, 2. That's got to be
I think
better.
that's better.
That's got to be better. Hey, thanks for joining in on a Saturday. Hope you had a nice Thanksgiving. It's the 29th of November. We are live in studio. Me, Johnny C, our producer extraordinaire. We're the best damn produced show on the station. That's for damn sure. What's up, my dude, Jimothy?
Hello, and good morning.
Good morning. Phone lines are open, 877-927-6969. I'm assured today that Jimothy will line you up if you dial in.
Absolutely.
He still says yes.
Keep me busy.
There it is. You're more than welcome to join in the conversation at hand. If you have a question, comment, concern in the world of real estate, dial in. If you just want to say hi to Ross Komarinetz with Brightway Insurance, Juno Beach, he's right here. You can do that. Hey, Ross.
Hi.
Well,
Hi,
hi.
everyone.
Were you watching the game today? And don't say what game.
I don't know yet. I don't know if I want to watch.
Well, you can hear it right here on Real Radio. That's a 4:30
Is this the
kickoff.
FSU official FSU station?
I don't like the way you put that, actually. This is home of Gator football for many years now.
Oh,
And they happen to be playing that old girl school, Florida State, today.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe I'll listen in then.
You can't. Was that a 1:30 pregame, Jimothy, for
Yes.
4:30 kick?
Yes, sir.
You're on Real Radio.
Mhm.
4:30 prime
Yeah.
time.
Prime time. Let's get some. That's a pretty good rivalry. There's some pretty good rivalries today. That Michigan-Ohio State, that should be pretty fun.
It's gonna be a good one.
We do have a Gator present here today. It's Jim DiPaola, Florida Home Pros team, Keller Williams Innovation. What up? Go Gators.
You want to hear something funny about that?
Yeah.
I was just talking to somebody yesterday. When I was younger, I used to say that if I ever slipped into a coma for months at a time and I woke up, I would know two things right away. Number one, if it was a Sunday or not. And number two, whether I woke up in Gainesville or not. Because I'm not a big Sunday person. I never really liked Sundays that much. Sundays are, I don't know why. I just didn't like Sundays. And Gainesville. I wasn't really a big Gainesville person.
No, just didn't fit you.
No,
I get it.
just didn't.
I get it.
Hey, it's enough out of you.
It's a beautiful area and everything, but I don't know.
There's a bunch of gators there.
Yeah, there are.
Ugh.
There's crocodiles too, by the way.
It's like going to Italy. Those damn
Yeah.
Italians.
There's a ton of Italians here. It's the only reason I won't go to Italy.
Hey, I just want to go over a few of the properties that we have active right now, if you don't mind. I just wanted to give everybody a little flavor of some of the inventory I got out there. We've got 1245 Carlton Court, which is in Colonnades in Fort Pierce.
Nice.
And this is a nice and clean, ready to go, turnkey ready, bright and airy, 2-2 unit on the second floor. It's not in the water area of this community. There's a lot of buildings throughout this community, but it is a waterfront community for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know how many times Johnny has told me he's dropped the lines in the
That's the Indian River.
Indian River,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's the intercoastal Indian River.
Yeah.
And dropped the lines in there. And
So many.
there's tons of docking for boats. And let me tell you, that whole area, South Hutchinson Island, it's a really good, if you want to go out and hang out at happy hours and stuff, there's a lot of choices for you out there for a little town.
For sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
And it seems like everybody knows everybody over there a lot.
I'm fond of it because that's where my grandparents, the Colonnades specifically, is where my grandparents were. It's where I visited every summer. So I'm very fond of it. But even without that connection, it's just a cool spot in
It
Fort
is.
Pierce. Once you go over the bridge, it just feels very different, you know? And my mom used to always say, I ain't going OTB
Right.
over the bridge.
Yeah,
I ain't
exactly.
going
I'm
over the
not
bridge.
going over
You
there.
kidding me? I got no need over there. But yeah, that's a cool spot right there for sure.
I
Some
did
cool
a-
attractions too. A great beach access. Elliott Museum is there. There's the thing where they have the stingrays. It's like an oceanographic thing. They rehabilitate animals that you can go to. Actually, it's a lot of fun. Good, nice area, and you shoot right up A1A there, and you're in Fort Pierce, and you got all kinds of restaurants and everything. Not far away.
It's so nice. And I did a little Facebook video when I put the house on the market, and I shot a little thing of me driving over the bridge to get to the unit. I was like, I love coming up to this unit because you just feel like you're in Florida.
So that's funny you say that. For me, like my whole child, hell, even today, going over that bridge was like the real, like, now I'm here. I'm in Florida now.
Exactly. Doesn't
And
it
there was
feel like
always the
that?
feeling when you got off the plane in West Palm, when that humidity just smacks you, a California kid coming in. As soon as you step over the threshold, you're like, oh, it's Florida. That's
Yep.
Florida.
Mhm.
There it is.
And the food is really good out there, and it's not that expensive. It isn't like you have to pay an arm and a leg for stuff out there. So really, really great place. And we have this unit. It's under $200,000. It's $195,000. So come give us a call.
Wow.
They've already done the concrete restoration in this building. I think the reserves are okay. So give us a call if you're looking for that place that you just want something inexpensive but feel like you're in Florida all the time. Maybe you only come here part-time and you live in another part of the country. This would be a great, affordable way to do that. Then we have, oh, and by the way, that's a 55 and over community. And we have another one. I'm sorry, I got hiccups now. In Century Village in West Palm, we have a 2-bedroom, 1.5 bath unit on the market. We're asking $149,000 for that. That's about the middle of the price ranges in there. You can get stuff under $100,000, but basically you got to rip the whole thing apart and start over. At $149,000, the unit is totally move-in ready. All the mechanicals are in great shape. Kitchen's been updated, and it's ready to go in turnkey. Another affordable option for people under $200,000 condo. This is $149,000 for a 2-bedroom, 1 bath. Then we have.
Why am I surprised that that's less expensive than the Colonnades unit? Why does that surprise me?
Well, location. One's on the water, one's in a water community. The other one's like in
Just
the
even
middle.
the Palm Beach County aspect to me.
Well, and Century Village is supposed to be an affordable option for people. It's always been like that. The community was built in the 60s, right? Century Village, I think, has over 5,000 units in the community, something like that.
Yeah,
Maybe 6,000.
big, huh?
Yeah, and there's a bunch of different associations besides the Master Association, and it also has a multi-million-dollar arts and entertainment center over there, complex, kind of like Kings Point and Delray has that too.
So again, why am I so surprised that it's? We're talking like a $50,000 difference.
Well, to be honest with you, the buildings are older,
Okay.
right? That makes a difference. The other thing is that the HOA at Century Village is about $500 a month, just a little bit over. You get so much for that $500 though. But some people is like $500 a month for a $150,000 condo. That's a chunk.
Yeah.
But you get, if you have to go to the doctor or grocery shopping and you can't drive, they got shuttle service for you to do all that stuff, right? They've got every kind of activity you can think of to keep you busy, right?
The HOA and the Colonnades has got to be at least around that, though, isn't it?
Let me look.
I'm thinking
I don't
500
even, I
at
don't
least.
Remember. Hold on. Let me look. God.
Sorry to
I'm
put you on
sorry,
the spot
forgot.
there.
No,
but
that's
yeah, when you
okay.
said 5, I was
Yeah,
like, that sounds probably about
Actually,
right.
it's 700 because of the reserves and everything they had to do. It's up to $758 a month, not a quarter. But for people that are on vacation home, that's still relatively inexpensive.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so Century Village is a great affordable for seniors that are on a budget. That could be a really good option for you as opposed to renting, depending on what you could put down on the property. And when Mike comes back into town, I wonder if he's up at the FSU game with his daughter, Isabel. I'm wondering if,
In Gainesville?
yeah, Isa. So I wonder if oh yeah, that's in Gainesville. I thought it was at FSU. I'm thinking wrong.
No.
So because he was supposed to come this week and then he blew it off.
He could be there though.
I'm wondering if he's there.
My nephew is a FSU grad, and he's him and a buddy are at Gainesville, and then they're bombing down to the Dolphins on Sunday.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, they're doing a twofer.
I have my next property I want to talk about is a very unusual one because it's my Airbnb property right now. It's 280 Bella Vista in Jupiter. It's a half mile from the beach. It's in a great community of Jupiter area. You're by the Jupiter Park, Juneau
Park.
Beach Park to south of it, the Carlin Park. Carlin, what is it? Carlin
Park.
Yeah, it's just Carlin Park, right? I felt like there was another word in there for some reason. But what's interesting about this is that it's a 3-bedroom, 3.5-bath townhome. The person bought it a few years ago. They moved in, they put over $200,000 of upgrades, and then they furnished it nicely. They were living there for a while. Then their life changed, and they decided to move um, somewhere else in the county. But they decided that they were going to keep it and turn it into an Airbnb. They have already $47,000 for this season and a little bit of next year already prepaid in the bank, just waiting for the customers to come. And it's legal. It's a daily rental community that allows you to rent the properties daily. You're not having any issues with that whatsoever. And we've already had 4 people reach out that were very interested
Nice.
in it. Can't show the property. Why? It's being rented out.
Yeah.
So I have to give them a calendar of what days the property is available over the next month to show. And there's way less days in the calendar that you can show it than you can't show it because it's that booked.
Brutal.
So it's kind of cool. I like that that it's getting that much action.
No, it's great that it's got a lot of action.
Yeah.
It's tough for you to show
It's
it. though.
not our show. So I'm hoping that we're going to be showing it a little bit on Monday, and then after that, it's booked on Tuesday, and it's booked for another week, and then the week after, we're going to hopefully show it again. Beautiful home, over $200,000 in upgrades, not including the furniture. And if you buy that unit, it's like you're walking in, like after you put your down payment and closing costs and everything, then this seller is going to say, okay, here are all the listings that are prepaid for. Just sign up to this account through this daily rental company and all the money's yours. So it'll probably pay for half of your down payment costs if you were to do a down payment on this. And it's also a great opportunity if you don't want to turn into Airbnb. It doesn't have to be. It's a great community just to move into and stay. Let me see how much the HOA is on that one, Johnny, now that you got me thinking about HOAs now. So the HOA on that one is $883 a month on that one. It's a 795 unit for $795,000. If you're interested in any of these, they're on our Facebook page. I don't know if they're on our Florida Talk Real Estate page because we're revamping that right now. Totally changing it around. I'm going to be very excited when that's done.
Nice.
End of January. And so if you have any interest in any of these properties, give us a call. Or if you're interested in buying a property or selling a property, give me a call. I'd love to talk to you about what we could do or just give you some great advice about what your options are. That's good too.
Absolutely. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. Buying a home, selling a home, stuck with a home, you don't know what to do. You just need a professional, some aspect in the world of real estate. The market is crazy out there, and there's lots of professionals needed. And we got them all. The best of the best. One click away. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. Like Ross Komarinetz with Brightway Insurance, Juno Beach, and of course, Jimmy D over here in studio as well with the Florida Home Pros team.
Thank you. Okay, so let's get a little bit into the economy a little bit, because there's so much going on right now. So let's just go into interest rates first. And interest rates went down 0.03. So now we're back down to, let me see, what is this, 6.23? Yeah, 6.23. We were at 6.26 last week. So, and we've been hanging out. I'm going to show you something, Johnny, because I can't show it on the air, but look how flat that line is.
Pretty flat.
This is a year.
Yeah.
Right?
Pretty
so
flat.
Our interest rates have been flat for so long, and everybody's going to be complaining about that interest rates are the issue. The interest rates aren't the lowest they've ever been in a while because there was a 6.08 last year, but 6.23, this has been so consistent over time. And there's a lot of people out there, especially first-time home buyers, who are paying money for rent. And I've talked to 4 or 5 of them over the last couple of weeks, and they all were thinking about buying last year and didn't. So they decided to rent. So I started calling them up saying, hey, your lease is coming up. Are you ready to do it this year? And they're all saying they're going to stay with the rental property they got. But here's the thing that's interesting is that If they were willing to pay 10% more on their rent, and I'm trying to be conservative here, so might even be less, but if they were willing to pay 10% more than what they're paying for rent, they probably could get a home that would definitely work for them as a first-time home buyer and
Right.
get into the market and start playing that whole real estate game to start getting appreciation and everything over time.
It's where you wonder if it's lack of willingness or lack of ability to. If it's just they don't have it in the budget, because I can't imagine year to year that their savings has gone up tremendously if they're kind of the average Joe. In fact, I would think the opposite. I would think their savings have been depleted and their credit cards have been stacked up.
I would think that that's true, but there's a lot of people out there that don't know what they don't know and they haven't figured it out yet, so they're afraid.
Don't fill in the blanks on your own. That's facts.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like some of them would be really missing out because let's say that you bought 2 or 3 years ago and you were paying 10% more than what you were paying for rent, but you had potential tax benefits from owning the home, and then you had appreciation over time. Even in the bad markets until this year, okay? But in 2023 and 2024, which were not great markets, we still saw 3 to 5% appreciation.
Well, that's what we should see on a yearly basis. I mean, that's what we expect, 3 to 5%.
So if you
I
include
10% and 3% interest rate.
14%.
Yeah, and 3% interest rate. That's right.
That's what Ross is waiting
and you
for.
only want 3-year mortgages at 3%, right? You only want a 3, yeah.
No, I want the 50-year.
No, yeah.
I want
Oh,
the
yeah,
50-year
the 50-year.
3%.
Which we are going to talk about all that stuff because there was some talk about affordability that we have to slide into this conversation.
I thought we totally debunked the 50-year. Didn't we do that? Didn't we say that's not a way to save money?
But they're throwing out other things now that are kind of interesting, to be honest with you. There's some interesting stuff being bantered about to see if there's some options out there, because I'm kind of the opinion that the only way that we're going to see the affordability crisis end is by having a pretty decent haircut on appreciation that we've had, because the appreciation we had during COVID was unsustainable and not based in reality. And I feel like that people were willing to pay at that moment, because I know people like AJ, experiencedappraisers.com. He's like, hey, wait a second, I'm the one that's appraised all those houses. And at that moment, when people were willing to buy what they were willing to, it's worth what people were willing to pay, right? It was legit that way. But over the time of house appreciation, what you would expect a normal appreciation, that was very unrealistic. And people took advantage of it, which is great.
Sure.
You always do that, just like the stock market. But the stock market corrects itself over time. And real estate's much harder to correct, it seems like to me. I don't know why, but it just seems like way more harder to correct.
Because it takes, the stock market is just jitters, right? That can correct.
Pretty fast.
Yeah, real fast. The housing market requires massive action, and it's usually nothing positive for big corrections.
Yeah, and
it's going to take big, like, floors to fall out.
And that's true. And there's also a big effort that you have to do to get out of that asset, if you will, like to sell the house. But if you want to sell a stock, you just click a button and your stock.
So much of the stocks is based on speculation.
Yeah.
The speculation in the housing market is what's just going to happen in the future, right? I mean, it's the same speculation, but you don't invest the same way.
So,
but you can rest assured that you will highly likely get appreciation if you buy a home.
Yes.
Unless the floor falls out.
Yes. And that gets me to the next thing, which is where supposedly almost 50% of the houses are mortgage free.
Wow.
40, I'm sorry, not the numbers changed. Okay. So we were at over 50% of the houses in the United States were, had more than 20% equity in the home. Now, 40.3% of all the homes owned in the United States are mortgage free. 4 out of 10.
That's wild,
right?
Really?
This is coming from Axios, right? And just to give you, and actually it's coming, Axios is getting this data from the U.S. Census Bureau, okay? And then they mapped it out. And Florida is pretty, I don't have the hard numbers, okay? But Florida, based on this map, is in the middle of that 40%,
Huh.
right? Now, the ones that have the most equity, believe it or not, are, I can't even believe I'm saying this, West Virginia, okay, Mississippi, and I forget which is on the left side. Is it Arizona or New Mexico? New Mexico is on the right side.
Correct.
Right? Okay, okay. Thank you, Johnny. It's next to Texas. New Mexico. Those are the three that have the most mortgage-free homes per capita.
So that surprises you, though, for some reason?
Well, West Virginia and Mississippi are pretty poor states. That's what I'm saying. It's pretty poverty-stricken states comparatively. But also their houses are probably the cheapest in the country. I bet you if you look at median home values, they're also the lowest. And I bet you a lot of people stay in their homes for a long time over there. I
That's
might
what
be
I was
wrong.
thinking. Everybody, like that, probably that house has been in the family.
Yeah.
Right, exactly, for generations or something like that. Now, the states that have least mortgage-free homes, Washington State, California, Nevada, Utah, Colorado.
Utah.
Yep, Utah. And let me see, Virginia. And I don't know, New York is like Florida, right? Kind of in the middle. So anyway, there's a lot of people out there that have mortgage-free homes, and that kind of makes sense because the average first-time home buyer right now, which we talked about the last time we were on the show, was 40 years old.
Right.
First-time home buyer, 40 years old. I saw one influencer go, 40 years old, and they're like a 31-year-old guy, and he's like freaking out that his generation is missing out on homeownership, which he's correct about.
When I was 31, I had the perspective that I was never going to own a home.
Yes,
For sure.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't matter what is going to happen. I'm never going to be a homeowner. I was never going to get married.
I was
I'm
like,
never having a kid, and I'm never going to own a home. Guess what?
I watched like 3/4 of that happen in real life.
You think you know.
Yeah, you know, you don't know what you don't know, right?
That's right.
But I think I bought my home when I was 31 too. I think I was 31. Yeah, 31. I was 31 when I bought my house. So I started a little late. Like a lot of my friends had already bought homes by the time I bought my home.
I had bought a.
When did you buy your first home?
When I was probably 28.
Okay.
Then
did you do it here, down here?
Yeah.
Okay.
But then in 2020, I was a first-time home buyer at age 40.
Again,
yeah.
First-time home buyer.
Yep.
I was 40.
Yep.
And that's what Mike brought up when we brought this up a couple weeks ago, is that 3-year reset to become a first-time home buyer. And that can really skew a number. That doesn't mean these people are buying their first home
that's very
at 40.
True. And I don't know when the reports might be reporting on real first-time home buyers.
No, they were using.
You think they were using?
Yeah, because we looked it up during the show.
Yeah.
They were using that. You didn't own a home 3 years prior.
I'm buying next spring, and I'm going to be a first-time home buyer. Right.
So you'll be skewing that number up.
Yeah, I'll be skewing it big time. I'll be skewing it big time. So, and the other thing I'm telling people right now is, if you're renting right now and you can get a deal that makes sense, you probably should do it.
So, but just to continue that conversation for that 31-year-old dude, he has a lot of information that he doesn't know to understand what that 40 means. Doesn't mean he can't buy a home. It just means that.
Yeah, what it means is that people aren't really figuring out what's going on.
Right.
Right away. You have to have all the details, and they don't have a plan. The thing is, like, even with you, Johnny, when you decided to get into the housing market, it wasn't just like, okay, I'm going to do it now. There was a plan, and we went through a process, and it gave you a clear idea of what the end of the tunnel or the finish line was, right? So, where the finish line was. So you weren't just like, I want to buy a house someday. You weren't just running around.
What it took was a lot of help. I have to get guidance in so many ways. And I fortunately had the resources to help me along the way. You do too. Yes, I'm talking to you. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. The same resources I had to get to my first home. Yes, you can utilize the same team. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. I went from this is never going to be my life to, and pretty quickly I went to, this might be real. Now, again, more help than you can imagine to get done what I needed to get done. And I'm forever grateful for that. But when you have the path and understanding and a desire, you can get there. It's just about making it happen step by step, day by day. It's not going to happen tomorrow. I understood that, but we got there within 9 months, I want to say.
Yeah, it was about 9 months.
Within a year.
Yep.
But it took desire, and we had to do some things. But it wasn't like, in my mind, it was wipe all my debt out and then I can maybe get there. And it was, sitting down with the professionals is, no, we just need to chip away at this. If we chip away at this and this gets your credit score to here. And then we just need this down. Here's your down payment assistance program. Bada bing, bada boom. We tied it all together. And there's a video of me getting my keys.
They're floating around out there.
Yes.
So let me ask you this. I know that we got to take a break, but I wanted to ask you this because it popped in my head. And I think it would be a really good enlightening moment for certain people. And I don't know what the answer is going to be because I'm asking you live on air. What do you think your family life would have been like, about housing when it came to housing, if you rented even to this day? Can you imagine if you never bought and you were still renting and you went through all those rent increases during COVID where everybody went nuts and then looking for places? Do you feel like you would have been better off that way?
So I can put myself in that situation because I went through rent increases. Like, I have to find a place to move because I can't afford this rent anymore. I've done that. Where I was renting prior to buying was a totally unique situation.
I remember
this lady gave me rent landlord decreases every year. Donna was an angel. I mean, unbelievable neighbor. She even tried to get me to buy her home, that home that we lived in, like for no money. And it just, we didn't want to live in Port St. Lucie.
Right.
We wanted to live in Palm Beach County. So uniquely for me, I don't know what it would have been. I don't know how different. We just been living in Port St. Lucie. But yeah, I think I've been through it. I think if you have the resources to understand your situation and what it takes, because sometimes it's just a couple of tweaks, little things. You don't know all that's involved until you sit down and understand it. And it doesn't take a lot of time. I got a real firm understanding in just a couple of hours, truly. And then you start putting in the work. But yeah, you have to have the roadmap. You have to know what you have to do, because otherwise you're sitting there like I was, just thinking, I'm never going to get out from under all this, and that's what it's going to take to buy a home, and that's just not reality.
No, it isn't really. It isn't like that. So anybody interested, give us a call. We don't bite.
And by the way, down payment assistance programs are better now than
they were back in the day
in 2014. Yeah.
On the flip side, what we're going to talk about is a little bit about the affordability ideas that they're throwing out right now. Some of it's national, some of it's state, like Florida specific. Some of them I think are potentially, I never thought about that. Kind of interesting. And I don't know the right answers for this because it's brand new stuff we're talking about all over the country about trying to fix property taxes for affordability, insurance for affordability, all kinds of things. So we're going to talk about some of the ideas and see what you guys think about it.
Excellent. And if you have anything you'd like to throw into the conversation, you have a question, comment, concern, something totally off base involving real estate, don't be shy. We have a toll-free number. About an hour remaining on this Saturday. We're live on the 29th of November. Sure hope you and your family, your friends had a nice Thanksgiving. Dial in at 877-927-6969. Of course, if you're not comfortable on the radio, believe me, I understand. I'm not comfortable myself. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com is for you, the one-stop real estate shop. Access to the entire team. These are pros, experts in their field. You might know people that are good at what they do. You should go to people that are great at what they do. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. Know it, use it, love it, share it. You can change lives, including your very own, with the pros of FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. We're back in 4 minutes. Florida Talk Real Estate right here, Real Radio.
We'll be your friend. Follow us at Real Radio 92.1 on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Here's the latest with weather on Real Radio.
I'm CBS 12 meteorologist Charlotte Carl. It's going to be a pleasant afternoon, mostly dry skies. We'll keep about a 20% chance for a brief coastal shower in the forecast. Overnight, that chance will remain. We'll see cloud cover diminish once we get past midnight. Lows only dropping into the 60s and lower 70s.
This report is sponsored by AT&T. connecting changes everything.
This holiday season at AT&T, learn how to get the all-new iPhone 17 Pro on us with eligible iPhone trade-in. Any condition. Requires trade-in of iPhone 14 Pro Max or higher. Excludes iPhone 16e. Terms and restrictions apply. Subject to change. Visit att.com/iPhone for details.
Hey, it's your boy Johnny C here, host of Florida Talk Real Estate. They're tops when it comes to helping people buy and sell houses. But Florida Talk Real Estate is so much more than that. For 5 years, I've watched these guys help thousands of our listeners with any real estate need. They couldn't do it without their sponsors, who are experts in their fields. Check it out. DiPaola, powered by Keller Williams Realty. Their team specializes in helping people sell their house for top dollar, and buyers get great deals on the purchase of their home. That's what they did for me and my family, and I couldn't be happier that I hired them for my real estate transaction. Mike Rao from the mortgage firm is one of our favorite guests on the show, and he is the mortgage guy. Whether you're looking for a refi or a mortgage to purchase a new home, Mike Rao will get you the answers you need. The mortgage firm is licensed to do loans in Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia, and they have local offices that cover all of South Florida. So if you're thinking about a refi or a new mortgage, go to the mortgage guy, Mike Rao, and find out what he can do for you. The Mortgage Firm, Inc., NMLS 189233, Florida license MLD 78, equal housing lender. The law office of Paul A. Krasker has been specializing in real estate law for nearly 25 years and has the professional team you need. Upside down with your house, Paul's team can help you conduct short sales, loan modifications, even if you're behind on payments. They also help you with foreclosure defense and bankruptcy. They can even help you get a student loan modification and repair your credit to get the score you need. Paul's full-service team has helped thousands of our listeners, and they can help you too. Trident Title LLC is the largest privately owned title company in Florida. When you need a title company to complete a refi, home purchase, or sale, Trident Title has got you covered. Not only do they offer competitive pricing, Trident Title has attorneys on staff to make sure if you have bumps in the road declaring title that you can get the job done. Beware, not all title companies in Florida have attorneys on staff. Trident Title does and complies with all the new federal regulations released last year. Ross Komarinetz, owner of Brightway Insurance, has been helping our listeners get great rates on homeowners insurance plans. Haven't checked your homeowners insurance policy in a while? This is a great way to help reduce your monthly mortgage payment. Ross can also help with renters and auto insurance. Ross is only a phone call away and can usually get the answers you need same day.
Call Ross today at 561-425-6228 or drop by his office at 873 Donald Ross Road in Juno Beach.
So now you know why I'm happy to be part of the Florida Talk Real Estate Show, the longest running real estate show in Florida. And all these sponsors are just a phone call or a click away. Just call 888-973-7828. That's 888-973-7828. Or go to floridatalkrealestate.com. That's floridatalkrealestate.com. And don't forget to use the most accurate search engine to find your new home or ask for a free home valuation because floridatalkrealestate.com has you covered. That's floridatalkrealestate.com.
From the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios.
Have you been in an accident? Call Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys at 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
Real Radio 92.1 is WZZR West Palm Beach, an iHeartRadio station.
Make us the #1 preset on your car radio and on the free new and improved iHeartRadio app. Listen for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Free never sounded so good. This is Florida Talk Real Estate with Jim DiPaola and Johnny C. Got a question for the show? Call us live at 1-877-927-6969.
1, 2. That's got to be close enough, huh?
Please clap.
I noticed Jimmy didn't do it again.
No, I did do it. But my
Jimmy.
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 Oh, the screen was slow.
Bothers me that he doesn't do it with us.
I was getting ready to play some Jet. That's why.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess you have it on mind.
That's my participation.
You want to do it one more time? It's all about the camera.
Let's try one more time.
All right, one more time. 1, 2.
I think
that was our best one
that
ever.
one.
That might be the best. Yeah.
That's the best.
Yeah, at least
we should just run that over and over again.
Yeah, can you record that?
We'll add it in.
Thank you.
There it is.
Yeah, you guys are amazing. It is.
Thank you.
It is the 29th of November. Thanks for being with us on a Saturday. Sure hope you had a nice Thanksgiving. If it wasn't great, the good news is you got through it. It's past now. You don't have to dwell on it anymore. Sorry for bringing it up. Johnny C is me. Jimothy's our producer extraordinaire. What's up, my dude?
Hello, and good morning.
Good morning.
Happy Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, come on now.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much. Get it all over your face on a Saturday.
And the giblets.
Oh, that's my favorite part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sure is.
My the girls in my life were like, man, it is. I couldn't find the bag of giblets in our turkey. Okay, so you're like, you cooked the bag of giblets then? No. I completely, when the turkey was done and after I cut it, I ripped that thing apart to find the bag of giblets.
Not in there?
It came without a bag of giblets. It came with the neck, which is probably my favorite part. I love holding it, just being like, man, this is
Look at that.
this is awesome. Look at this thing.
Look how big it is in my hand.
Wow. But the mine came without a bag of giblets.
No kidding.
I almost called Butterball too, just to be like,
Excuse me.
how am I supposed to make my Thanksgiving? Can't make stuffing anymore. Without stuffing, what's Thanksgiving?
What's that hotline? 1-800-TURKEY?
Stuff it. 1-800 stuff it.
Nice.
I think. Yeah. How about that? No giblet bag in my turkey.
That's
And then you're all thinking, you cooked the giblet bag. I did not. But my girls walked in. They see me like double fisting this thing, looking for it. I'm coming in both sides. They're like,
wow.
what are you doing?
You got that on video?
Looking for the giblet bag.
I hope. Anyway.
Good times. Ross Komarinetz is over here wondering why he's sitting next to me at this point. He's with Brightway Insurance, Juno Beach. Hey, Ross, how are you?
Hey, it's good. I can't see you.
Probably for the best, especially as I'm showing all the
visuals,
the hand visuals. Yeah. I guess if you are streaming with us on Facebook or YouTube, congratulations. It's like we're in the kitchen.
Clap.
Please. Jimmy D's over here, our fearless leader. 13 plus years now. I've told you he runs a top producing Keller Williams team. It's the Florida Home Pros team, Keller Williams Innovations. Hello, Jim DiPaola.
Hey, happy South Florida, everybody.
Ever have a turkey with no giblet bag in it?
Yes, and I've had my mom cook it with the giblet bag in it before. That's happened too.
So I know that's what my mom thought. She's like, that fool, it's in there. It's in there.
You ever
gonna cook it?
You ever double fist it? Just curious.
No. So I guess I've been doing it wrong all this time.
The bird turned out amazing. So it might be a tradition.
All right, nice and moist.
So the economy is very confusing right now, and there's all kinds of things going on. So I thought that we'd kind of like just go over and kind of put some things in perspective. And the first thing I wanted to talk about was kind of inflation. Okay. Consumer price index just came out. Actually came out like this came out in October, but we haven't had one since. So I'm going to use the October. In October, we were at 3%. This is the CPI. Okay. So we're at 3%. So what is the CPI? Consumer price index. It is goods and services. And it includes things like food and beverages, housing, apparel, transportation, medical care, recreation, education, and other goods and services.
It doesn't include housing, though, right? Didn't we discuss
says
that?
Housing in here.
Oh, it does.
Says,
okay.
what are the products and service categories included in the CPI?
It does include housing.
Now, the PPI is about production, and that's like behind the scenes what's happening with producers producing things. But the CPI is like what we're paying for at the register, and we're at 3%. And I keep hearing all these politicians arguing about these numbers all the time, both sides, right? I'm not saying one side or the other side. And look, here's the reality. We've been talking about this since the inflation was almost 10%. Remember when inflation got to 10% after COVID? And we watched, it was actually 9.1 or something, they said. And it went all the way down to like 2.3, 2.4. And that's kind of where we were at the beginning of the year, roughly. And it has been scooting up. You just can't avoid it. It has been scooting up. Now, is it going crazy up? No, it's not. Not what people were predicting with the tariff changes and everything. People thought it was going to jump tremendously. Not saying it's not going to happen, but it hasn't happened yet. But we did go from 2.4 to 3.0. And that's an increase. Is it an increase that's going to make a difference? Like, certain people it will. most people can absorb that kind of interest rate, because we were at 3% the last time we were at 3%, which was pre-2025, right? We were at we were in the threes in 2024, for sure. We were in the threes. It might have been 3.8, 3.9 or whatever. But when we were in there, we were still cooking along and getting things done. People were still complaining about the high prices. There's no doubt about that.
Oh, yeah.
But we have seen them gone down. So that part is true. They have gone down. But
Since 2020.
yeah, since 2020. Yeah. But they are going up since January.
Oh,
they
yeah.
are going up. Now, are they going up tremendously? Well, they went up about 10%. If you're at 2.4 and you get to 3, right? Actually, that's, yeah, that might be closer to 20%, right? Increase. Now, you're talking about decimals, but still, it's a 20% increase. So things are more expensive, whether you want to say it is or it isn't, or things are getting better or not. As far as inflation is not going down. It is not going down. It is going up, but it's going up slightly, and it could be a variance, because we've seen some months where we're at 3.0, and then we drop down to 2.8, right, in just 1 month. So it could be a variance, but we're not going down right now. We're also not going up tremendously. Mortgages, we just talked about how for the last year, it's almost looks like almost as straight of a line as you can get with the chart.
Yeah.
It's pretty darn flat. The variance is about a quarter point. We've only gone up or down about a quarter point with mortgage rates for the last year. That's pretty good, because all the other years we've had the bouncing ball where we got whiplash from going up and down and up and down. We've been pretty steady. You could almost bank on what your mortgage payment was going to be if you went out buying homes. You didn't have to worry to rush to go buy something.
Right.
Prices in housing are going down. Zillow is putting out a big call to alarm, saying Zillow raises red flags on homes and mortgage rate. It says that the big problems we're having is affordability. And they're saying that affordability concerns rise as home ownership costs now exceed $15,900 yearly, outpacing people's incomes. Now, I don't know what the $15,000. I read the article and it didn't really explain to me how they come out, the hidden costs of owning a home. So what they're saying is rising expenses for maintenance. So like your cost for materials costs more when you got to put on a roof or you're upgrading your house or something. That costs more than it did in the past. Then you have your insurance and your property taxes are climbing. And that's the extra $16,000 a year that you weren't budgeting when you bought your house. Okay.
Interesting.
So they're saying that the biggest problem that we're having is that is the affordability crisis. Now, with that being said, and the CPI, people are trying to figure out nationally and locally here in Florida and nationally of how to reduce affordability, especially for housing, because we've got people that are first-time home buyers that are averaging at 40 years old. I was saying it like the other guy, right? And when it used to be like 28 was the average, and now we're at 40. So that's not healthy. You know, the big thing is most people buy the home before they start the family. That's the way it used to be. So if you're buying your first home at 40, if it really is first-time home buyer, that's starting the family pretty late, right? So people don't like that. So Florida's making progress on plans to cut or scrap property taxes. And what they've done is they've created, remember when they were going to give us a bunch of different choices and DeSantis, the governor, shut it down. So that's crazy town.
Right.
You're never going to get anywhere if you offer too many choices, which I tend to agree with.
Yep.
I tend to agree with
They
that.
were going to float out like 6 or 8 different options as amendments.
Yeah, and it was like too much, and they were in conflict with each other. So like it was going to just decimate everything, right? It was just going to cannibalize all the votes. So he didn't like that idea.
No, he didn't. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do we have a caller?
Oh, we do, but you want to finish up your thought and then we'll go to Mike?
Yeah, thank you. So,
Okay.
so what they've done is they've come up with 8 House bills. This is the House now, not the Senate. This is state. Okay. They came up with 8 bills of ways to reduce, to make housing more affordable. But it looks like the House is saying, let's put all these 8 things up there again, and then let the people vote. Do they want this or not want this? And we'll get into that in just a second. A couple of the 8 things. We're not going to go over all.
So it's
8.
not all property tax related.
No, it's not all property tax related. And some of it I think are good ideas, but I don't get how you're going to put all of these 8 things out there. When I start going over them, it'll make sense, and then expect to get a cohesive plan from it.
Well, what happens if we all vote yes on all of them?
Right,
Well,
right.
And that's the thing. Is all 8 going to be up on referendum, or are they going to be separate? Or
And it looks
in
like
one
they're going to
bundle?
be separate, but I'm not sure yet.
Okay. All right.
So let's go ahead and
Okay.
take the call first, just because callers count.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
We're going to do the
Yes.
callers first.
We have Mike from New York. He's checking in with us.
Cool.
He's actually got a couple of different topics, including the cost of pest control. We'll let him bring up each topic one by one. Mike, welcome to Florida Talk Real Estate.
Hello, good morning. How are you guys?
Hey, happy belated Thanksgiving, Mike. How are you and Colleen doing? Great?
We're doing pretty good, thank you.
Good, good. Let me just say one thing before you go.
Okay.
Did you notice that Josiah is no longer a realtor with the company that he was with originally, and that he moved over to new construction?
I did not know that.
That's why he didn't call to be on the show. I think that's why we couldn't get him on the show.
Okay.
So anyway, Mike and Colleen are were fans listening to us from Facebook up in New York, and they ended up buying a unit, single family home in Orlando, and we helped them find the agent and everything, just for background.
Very nice.
So Mike, are you still down in Florida, or are you back up home in New York right now?
In New York, we're coming down in February, and getting to what you were just saying about inflation. I'm not running the show, but the average cost of owning a home, I would say, is at least between $10,000 to $15,000 with taxes, insurances, everything else. My home in New York and down there are starting to get to that point. Florida's a little less. You're at about 10 with my taxes, CDD, HOA, repairs. We had to add things, even though it's new construction, gutters, fence, etc. Maybe people don't think of things like that when they're purchasing. I just had 5 quick things to go over, if I could.
Sure. New
Okay,
homeowner, new construction, new homeowner. So this is a new homeowner in Florida. So these will be great tips for people that are thinking about doing this.
Yeah.
Thank you, Michael.
I did not realize the amount of pest control we would need down there. We've had ground moles, we've had red ants, etc. I don't know the lay of the land down there. I did understand that we would need pest control. So I've had 2 different companies in there, etc. That was one thing I wanted to cover.
Did you bring in Bill Murray for the ground balls?
No.
I hear you got pretty good dynamite over there.
Too funny. And I had a sprinkler leak an irrigation leak, I'm sorry, on one of the main lines going to the sprinkler control box that the builder did not cover. That was one thing. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're here. Perfect.
Of course, I've got a call coming in right now. Unbelievable. So that was one thing they didn't cover. So that cost me $350. The company was fantastic. They came there 3 times, etc. That's solved. Okay, so we're talking about costs of home ownership. There's one. And know your heating and cooling system down there. Very important. I know you guys had talked about dehumidification, and you didn't know how that worked. Down there, you would definitely need a dehumidifier. Up here, you've got you need a humidifier up north. The home is Energy Star rated. They have a whole house dehumidifier, which helps dry the air out, which makes 74 degrees feel a lot cooler. That was one thing I wanted to cover. But know how it works. Get a company in there, check their pressures and everything. That was important. The pay down in Florida, this is the next topic. I don't want to jump around here. to pay down in Florida is less than half of what I make up here. My education, my skill set, and my experience, etc. They're talking $25 to $30 an hour, and that doesn't.
Are you union up there? He works in
union.
trades and contractors. Are you a union member up there?
I am a union member. That's correct. I realize it's non-union down there, other than like I've seen Florida Power and Light, things like that. I'm looking at a couple of the different avenues. My wife makes considerably more than me, so it's not a huge concern. But I do need to work. I'm not, I'm still mid-50s. I'm still like 53. I'll be 54. But that was one thing I wanted to tell people, because they say, "Oh, we got all this done in Florida." And it's like, yeah, but you got it done on how much did you pay for labor to get things done?
I know when I moved to Florida, when I got my first job, people were like, "That's a great job." I'm like, "I make $8 an hour." They're like, "That's a great job." I was like, "I made a bad choice. I haven't made $8 an hour since I was like 10."
Yeah.
That was the only thing that surprised me about Florida, because we've done our homework, etc. Lastly, before I get off the phone, looking at our security cameras down there and experiencing the weather up here and seeing what's going on, the snow, it's 30 degrees, there's ice on my driveway. It's hard to stay here till July. It's going to be 6 months of depression, but
it's so close and so far away.
I know,
yeah, it's so far away.
Believe me, we're excited, and we're going to enjoy everything down there. We're going to see, we're going to kayak. We've been researching everything, cool. Where to see gators, where you're almost guaranteed in the wild. I don't want to go on an airboat ride. I want to actually see one. And then another thing, golf. And then I'll leave you alone. But when I was down there, my neighbor said he had rattlesnakes under his garbage can, and it doesn't even faze me, because I said, I know I'm going to see all kinds of wildlife. You just have to respect it,
Well, down here in Boynton Beach, which is in Palm Beach County, a few counties south of you right now, they're having, I don't know if they caught it yet, but they're having a big coyote issue.
Yeah.
When I was up in Tennessee, I kept reading these articles about everybody freaking out. And this is in a very well-developed area of Boynton Beach. It isn't like in the boonies.
It's taking out pets.
Yeah, it's snacked on
or
pets.
They're taking out pets. I don't know.
Yeah, they say they're everywhere.
Yeah,
in every major city.
AJ Holman says that he sees them. My mom says she sees them, and my sister, who lives on Lake Worth Road, just west of the Turnpike, she says she sees them.
We got to call.
I can hear them.
Yeah,
at night. I hear them.
Call Acme. We'll get rid of them. Or at least make it tough on them.
So
boulder.
all the crazy critters down here you have to get used to. Down here.
See, they're getting a little too comfortable, it sounds like, in that area. Like here, they would be out in the woods, etc. We've got Forever Wild behind our home, so we've seen everything, deer, turkey, etc. But they sound like they're getting very comfortable around people when they start eating pets and such. I have friends that hunt, and they will actually take those down because they're a nuisance.
Not in these neighborhoods. If you miss, you're hitting somebody's house or car or person because it's that developed out here. This is not rural at all. That's what was so surprising about them there, and obviously they're being pushed out of their environments.
Right.
So,
and also too, when you're down there, make friends with your neighbors. I've got a few great neighbors. One even has our garage door opener. I've gotten really close with him already. Everybody helps, I mean, I don't know. It's taken a lot, but we're just super excited. I don't want to take up your
I'm really happy for you. So, Michael, I'm sure I'm going to talk to you before then, but if not, I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Okay, and I'm sure I'll talk to you before then. Okay.
Thank you so much for allowing me on the show and to ramble on, but I had things on a list that I wanted to cover with you.
Of course, I love it.
And it fit the conversation. We appreciate you very much, and have a great rest of your weekend.
Yeah.
All right, you too, guys.
Bye-bye now.
So, so getting back to these House bills, so let me just throw out some of the ideas that are in these different bills, okay? One of them proposes the full elimination of non-school property taxes for homesteaded properties while preserving funding for school districts and law enforcement, right? So almost all of these bills protect the schools and law enforcement, but everything else is up for grabs, meaning, hey, if we cut the property taxes, some of these programs that we're accustomed to have to go away, right? Because that's going to be the cost benefit, right? So maybe it means less hours, I'm making up some stuff, less hours at the park, or maybe your city hall isn't opened as long as it normally is. Remember during COVID, it was only open for like 3 or 4 hours a day or something like that.
But it's only eliminating the contribution for other aspects from homesteaded properties.
This is bill. Just homesteaded, right?
Got you. You're still going to contribute to education, law enforcement if you're homesteaded, but all other aspects will only be put into the kitty from non-homesteaded properties.
Right.
Okay.
Now, next one is implements a gradual phase out, increasing the homestead exemption by $100,000 annually over 10 years. And this is for all properties, not just regular. Well, I guess it has to be for homesteaded.
Right.
But it's so that's kind of interesting where you kind of phase it in over time.
Well, that's where I've been, the path I've been on.
And 100,000 is a pretty significant chunk at a time, right? Probably by the time you hit year 5, probably year 4, you're down to 0 because the average home in Palm Beach County, let's say, is 650, right? You're already getting, if you're homestead, you're already getting exemptions. So 100,000 extra a year, probably in 4 years, you're down to 0. Right. The next one is targeting homeowners 65 and older, exempting them from non-school property taxes and preserving law enforcement. So everybody at 65 that's homesteaded, they don't pay property taxes except for school and law enforcement. Okay. Next one is homestead exemption for non-school levies equal to 25% of the assessed value, blah, blah, blah. It's too much math for me.
A lot.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see. Here's another bill where it says it focuses on homesteads with property insurance. So increasing exemptions of $100,000 by $100,000 if you have property insurance. So if you're homesteaded and you have property insurance, you get a $100,000 exemption, which is to offset the insurance. It's to offset the property taxes to help pay for the insurance. I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm not saying any of these are good or bad.
Yeah, it's just they're floating out there.
I just thought it's interesting, all these ideas. Another one says caps all property assessment increases by 3% per year, or based on the consumer price index, which we just talked about, that report we just talked about. But this is for everybody. It doesn't just for homesteaded people. It's going to cap everybody at 3%. And then
investors would love that one.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. And then another one is revises our Save Our Homes portability benefits for newly married couples. I don't know what that means. It just says revise our Save Our Homes portability benefits for newly married couples. I don't know what that means. Okay. Now, here's some other ideas that I thought are interesting. This is the one about the seniors, where they said this one is being done by a rep down in, where is he? I don't know which area of Florida he's in. I'm sorry, it doesn't say. It just says he's a representative, Juan Carlos Porras, who said, we have to trust in our elected leaders that they need to prioritize the needs and not just the wants. That is public education, law enforcement, and firefighters. And what they're saying is we can't just cut the property taxes across the board like everybody's talking about, because we got to pay for some services that are too important. But we need to help out those that are most in need. And right now, he believes that most in need are the seniors, which working day to day and working with these older condos and people on a fixed budget, these seniors, some of these seniors are at risk, like that Michelle lady who lost her home. That is a very common thing, and it's very scary for these seniors to be in that situation. So anything we could do to help the seniors, if we're going to help somebody, it got to be the seniors.
Or the kids, or
Yeah,
both. How
and
about
the
both?
kids.
I think it makes sense for if you're retired, 60 or 65 and over, or 60, whatever, 60 and
Right,
over.
right.
All right, you no longer have property taxes.
Right. Or maybe it would be that if you paid property taxes for X amount of years, let's say you bought the home this year and you're 65, maybe you should have to pay property taxes for a couple of years to buy into the system. And then at a certain time that you've owned the unit, it gets exempted or something. I don't know. I'm just throwing out ideas because we've got to pay for stuff. Because if we took out all the property taxes, it's $18.5 billion that we got to come up with in different ways.
I don't think, and this is, look, I'm not an investor, so I should put that out there first and foremost, but I don't think investment properties should be completely void of property taxes.
No.
Here's why, because it's not just mom and pa's. There's too many big conglomerates that buy up neighborhoods and massive amounts of residential property. They should fork much of that bill, personally.
I agree that if you're doing it as a business or you're doing it for profit, that, that's part of you doing your cost of doing business. And
Aren't you also paying your sales tax and additional tax and all that too? Like all your quote unquote income?
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't see how that's going to help affordability. I think that's going to increase prices, because if they're getting more and more breaks, if the investors get more and more breaks, it's going to lift the property values. They're going to go up.
Yeah, sure will.
So I feel like you have to do something, and I know that investors.
There's got to be breaks in the system somewhere.
Yeah,
otherwise all the big pockets take over.
And it's easy for me as a realtor who used to be a full-time investor. Like, yeah, give them the money. But we got to be responsible, or we're going to be. I don't want us to turn into the 49th worst education system in the country. Well, I think we're like 38th right now, but I don't want to be 49th. You know what I mean? And we need money to handle the stuff we need to do. So, and we're the third most populous state in the country. It isn't like we're a little dinky state with hardly any residents. We're a big one, right? So it really matters. There's this thing I read on Fox News where Republicans are getting serious on housing crisis. And I was like, oh, how are they doing that? Right. So I'm interested, like what are their ideas? Well, what they're doing is have you ever heard of this guy, Benny Johnson?
No, I've heard the name.
Have you?
Yeah.
I haven't heard of him. So anyway, he's an influencer. He's got like 4 million followers. And he's a younger guy.
Maybe I've read articles with his name in it. Maybe that's what it is.
So he's a younger guy. He's in his early 30s. He's a young father, husband and father. And apparently he's really big in social influencing for the Republicans. And he's been talking about affordability for a long time on his podcasts and his shows. So they're joining forces. The Republicans are joining forces with him to get out the word about different ideas to make affordability. So I was like, well, what are his ideas? That's kind of interesting. Let's just see, because I think that we should be listening to everybody's ideas and take the best of the best.
Absolutely.
So what he came out with, there was one thing I thought would be really interesting. And Jimmy and Johnny, I would really be interested to see what you think. You've heard of health savings accounts before, right?
Sure. Mm-hmm. I have one. That's tax-free contribution into an account that you can utilize for medical expenses. Mm-hmm. There's some exemptions, but
now they want to do.
You can buy a cold plunge with it.
There's not a ton of exemptions, but like you can't buy some over-the-counter stuff with it, stuff like that. I know you can't buy weed with it,
right?
But a lot of medical expenses.
Mm-hmm. Well, now they're thinking about a home savings account.
Weed, cannabis, medical cannabis.
Yeah. Well, now they're thinking about a home savings account. I love that idea, because that's making the potential buyer get invested in the idea. They're buying into the system, saying, okay, I want to buy a house and I can get tax deferment on this money so that I don't have to pay taxes for the money I'm saving. The number one reason that we have 40-year-old average, 40 years old as the first-time home buyer in today's market, is not because of the mortgage payment necessarily. It's the down payment is what's killing everybody to buy the home. A lot of people say, I can afford $2,200 a month for rent. I'm just making it up. I can afford a mortgage payment of $2,200. I'm paying that now.
Sure.
But I don't got $18,000 or $32,000 or whatever it is to come up with in order to buy the home. Right. So they could afford the mortgage payment, but they can't afford the down payment. This way they get tax deferment and a incentive to start throwing the money in the bank to save. I think that would be a really good idea. I mean, I haven't thought it out. I'm not 100% into it, but I think it's one of the better ideas that are floating out from this group of people thrown out. What do you guys think about that? Do you think that would be a good thing?
Yeah. I mean, you're creating the ability to have a savings, because that's basically all it is, a savings account, but you're able to put that money in pre-tax. I think that's the big key there. At least that's what jumps out at me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's enough to change anything, though. Personally.
I don't think so. Because I mean, if you're struggling with the down payment, it probably means that you're in the lowest tax bracket or one of the lower ones. So your tax saved, like you put $1,000 a year away. What is your tax? Do you have a huge tax benefit from that? Because that's really what your benefit is you don't have to pay taxes on that income.
Right. And you can and like with the health savings account, there's a cap that you can put in every year. Right. And if you max out that cap, you don't have to pay any taxes on that.
I just think for people that struggle to save, I don't think that little bit I don't have to pay taxes on this to save it. I don't think that changes anything for so many people.
I don't think it's going to be a light switch. You know what I mean? Like it goes from darkness to full light and everybody's running around.
I don't even know.
I think it'll help. You don't think so?
I don't. I just don't think that's enough to make people go, okay, well, now I can save it.
Well, you know what? And you might be 100% right. What I'd like to know is what percentage of people are using the health savings account, right? So let's say 8% of the people are using that right now. I'm just making it up. That'll probably give you a kind of an idea of what people would probably use for the housing. What percentage of the people would actually take advantage of it.
Right.
Well, then,
go ahead.
Well, my only thing is you got to let people know. I mean, that's the first thing. If you don't even know this exists, you're not going to do it. And then second, so a lot of times that's employer based, right? So when I was working for a particular company, they had a health savings and they also contributed to the health savings account. It's the only reason why I knew about it. If it wasn't for that. Now, do a lot of banks out there offer it just as is? Sure, it's out there. But if you don't know.
Yeah, if you don't know about it.
And then I think the other thing too, if they're going to do that, they ought to allow you to be able to invest that money. And have that go into investment.
So allow you to do that with the health savings account. Yeah. So I would expect
like
that you could
IRA, a short-term IRA for your home.
Yeah, and that
because
that
then
be
you could take it'll grow tax-free.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you take it out, you have to pay taxes on it.
I have to ask Jarrett from Jarrett Perry CPA.
Yeah, that's a good question.
The way it's built, it would make sense. The answer would be no.
That's
right.
What I would
Unless you don't use it towards the purchase of a home.
I think that's the way it works, Johnny. But
that's the way just logically it feels like it would lay.
Should
to make it the most beneficial.
So I feel like there's a bunch of ideas out there. We're going to see how all that goes. As far as affordability. Now, there's some more reports. I'm reading these headlines over and over and over again. Foreclosure rates double, triple, foreclosure rates across the country, doubling, tripling, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not saying that that's not true, but remember, we've been talking about this for more than a year, probably 2 years, where we started looking at how many foreclosures and short sales were either sold that month or on the market that month. And we have seen them quadruple, but we went from like 0.5% to 1.5% of the total market. And 1 to 3% is the normal foreclosure rate.
Right, we're getting to normal.
So we're getting to normal.
But not surprising, though, because in the last couple of months, we've talked about, 14-year high on auto repossessions. Mm-hmm. There's been a lot of articles in the last month.
Credit card debt too high.
The credit card debt was over $1 trillion, right? Collectively in the nation.
And our student loan debt's coming back to haunt us again because we have more restrictions on student loan programs than we've ever had in a few years.
I've been reading more and more about people having their power turned off lately.
Yes, more powers being turned off. And getting back to student loan, I just want to do a quick shout out about this. I forget what it's called, IDR repayment plan, something, income debt repayment plan, right? That's what we're using to help our people with student loan debt out here. It's based on your ability to pay, not what you owe. It's
Right.
called an income debt repayment plan. The federal government has opened that back up again, where it's turned on. It was dormant for a little while, and it's turned back on again. So anybody that's in that program, call us in order to make sure that you're back in the program and doing everything you're supposed to be doing.
You got to go through Krasker.
Yeah, you got to go through the law office of Paulie Krasker. We just had a guy named Jerry came to us from Jarrett Perry's group, whose daughter had major medical school bills, and then she decided not to become a physician.
Huh.
And the father was on the hook for the money, I think, and we got him over to Jarrett. I haven't called him because it was right before the holidays, but I heard they got great results, so I'm going to be talking to him.
Glad to hear that.
Now, transition. When you look at the foreclosure rates for different types of loans, FHA is always higher than all the other types of loans out there for foreclosure rates. Part of it's because they put the minimum amount down, 3.5% down, no skin in the game or low skin in the game.
That's why you pay mortgage insurance.
And that's why you're paying mortgage insurance. That is like 12 times higher right now than what all the other loans, like VA loans, or a fraction of what FHA foreclosures are. And
VA loans are 0% down because it's a
0%.
benefit earned, not because there's like this is for people that struggle to afford it. It's just a benefit that has been earned by our veterans.
Deserved, and thank you for your service.
Right.
Yep, absolutely. So we are seeing the foreclosure rate starting to come up. So that actually is happening, whether you want to like that report or not like that report. That's just the way it is. Yahoo came out.
But getting to normal.
Yes, we're getting back to normal.
Right.
Now, here's another thing. More than half of U.S. homes lost value in the past year. More than half. Now, that doesn't mean they're upside down.
No.
It just means that they used to be worth 400, then it shot up to 600, and now it's worth 575.
Well, what that tells you is what the homes in your neighborhood have been selling for in the last year. And evidently they've been selling for a little bit less in the last year. So your home's worth a little bit less in the last year.
It's worth a little bit less, but it doesn't matter if you don't sell at that time. And that's what people get depressed about, when it shouldn't matter.
You know what it matters? When you're tapping into or selling your home.
Right.
That's
and unless, as long as you could afford your mortgage payment, you got a locked in mortgage rate, you're good. Property values drop. Not a big deal. It really isn't a big deal. Stuff goes up and down. You don't go crazy when your stock, loses, the stock is $123 a stock and it goes down to 119. You don't lose your religion and just go sell the stock necessarily, because it's down a little bit at that moment.
Right.
Right.
Now it happens to be your plan was to sell that stock right then. Unfortunately, you're taking a little bit of a haircut.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you have to sell it at that moment, that's the people, but that's a very small segment of the people. So everybody reads this headlines and they go, oh my God, my house value's gone down. Well, only if you sell it or if you refi it.
That's it.
If not,
that's when it matters.
Who cares?
Yep.
You shouldn't care.
I know, if you were paying rent, would you care if the house you were living in went up or down?
Exactly. Right. Exactly. So, that's really important to kind of think of. Now, of course, where are the big metro areas where we're seeing most of that loss? Orlando, Jacksonville, Tampa, Austin, San Antonio, Dallas, Phoenix, Las Vegas is dying.
Orlando
Sacramento.
surprises me. There's so much building happening in that area. To see that the values are coming down is very surprising to me.
I feel like it's because new construction is stripping out the resale.
You think it's a cause and effect?
I really do think in that particular area, because Orlando is still one of the stronger spots of Florida for buying and selling right now.
There's so much popping up.
But aren't they also building a lot of like apartment complexes?
Yes.
So that's not homeownership.
No, they're doing
they're
doing a lot. Locally, I have somebody that works for a whole bunch of the new construction companies, the big ones, and they just found out. So I'm not going to tell you which developer it is because I don't want to beat up anybody.
No
right?
sense, right?
But it's a very well known
One we know.
developer in Florida that also covers other parts of the country. It's a big one. Okay. So they probably have 6 or 7 developments going on right now in the South Florida area. They just did a projection of how many homes they're going to sell between right now and May, because May is the end of their fiscal year for this company. Now, how many homes in Florida here, how many homes do you think they're budgeting that they're going to close on between now and May? Did we do this last time?
How big are the developments?
I wouldn't even.
Let's just say it isn't this company, but let's say it's D.R. Horton and they got 7 developments in Florida. I'm just saying. So
right. I'm just saying, like,
you
how
never
many
know.
houses are they planning on building?
I'm not saying
because they
any
might
of that.
sell?
It's just a big developer.
Okay.
Let's just, I don't want
3,000.
3,000.
See, I would have gone much higher than that, like 10 or something, 10,000.
Yeah, probably.
I
like
know I'm
7,
not giving you a
I don't
lot.
know, 7.
156.
156
They
homes.
think between now and
Homes?
May, they're going to close on 156 homes.
In 6 developments.
That was their
6
plan?
or 7.
That
7
was
developments. Only 20 homes.
That's
That was
their
their
budget.
budget?
That's their budget for the rest of the year. That's how bad things are getting for new construction.
Wow.
Okay. New construction is
all right,
not
I see your
on fire.
point. I wasn't.
Yeah,
okay,
new construction is not on fire anymore, even though they're outstripping the resales because they're getting cheaper. You can get a brand new home. Jimmy went through this, but a lot of people are going through. You can get the brand new home and save so much on your just your property insurance
Are
that
we?
it makes you
And
it
your
makes
first
the
year's
mortgage
mortgage
payment
payment.
the same.
Your first year
almost.
mortgage payment's pretty cheap too.
Yeah.
'Cause you're not
Yeah,
paying
because
taxes
I want
on
to
the-
talk about that in a second.
And again, is this a supply and demand issue where the supply has gone up so much with the demand being where it is, and of course that's going to bring prices
The
down? I mean,
supply has gone up because the demand slowed down so fast. So it wasn't
Yeah,
like
that's
they
what
were
it seemed
really
like.
overbuilding.
Right.
They were building kind of average. And then everybody just pulled out and they got caught.
right.
So it's
okay,
interesting to say the demand fell out. The demand exists. It just we can't step in at the price point.
The problem we have is
If
not
if these homes are
inventory.
$100,000 cheaper, they're all sold. They sell all of them.
The problem is not inventory. It's matching the people that want to buy with the type of house that they can afford. There's a
Truth.
big disconnect between that right
Massive.
now.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
you know what I think is going to be
Good
the
point.
trend? 3D printed houses. I'm going to start doing research on
container
this and
house.
find out. Yeah, you're going container. But 3D printed houses.
How about
that
3D
could
printed containers?
Dude, I just was up
That
at a
could be
factory
really a big-
yesterday.
for
And
the
those things are
container
dope.
house.
Yes.
Yeah, some of them can
Those
be
things are
dope.
pretty sweet. And
Yeah.
they're cheap too.
Yeah, they
Very
are.
cheap.
They are. But I think the 3D printed houses are going to actually give you even better quality and last longer. I'm not positive. So I really think like the technology of building homes is going to change, and that's going to help with the affordability. That's what I think is going to happen. I think that's the way they solve the problem. Some of the other ideas that Republican influencer had was smaller homes.
The cause and effect of that is tremendous, though, because think of all the skilled craftsmanship and trade like aspect that really gets hatcheted if the industry shifts more that way.
Yeah.
Whew, man, that's tough.
Yeah, there's truth to that, but you still need, from at least today's technology, you still need electricians and plumbers to come in
Sure.
after the
And there'll
walls
still be a marketplace for, actual constructed homes that'll still exist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some people are going to build that way, but I think for affordability, that's where you can make things more affordable, I believe, in the long run. So I think there'll be a lot of changes going through there. And I wanted to talk about property taxes one more time. I was talking to somebody who called me up to do who wanted to buy down here, and they're from out of state. They're from Pennsylvania, and they have a relative that lives in Orlando already, and they're thinking of moving to Orlando. I'm like, no problem. We got you set up for sure.
Sure.
But here's the thing. She goes, I don't want to buy new construction. I go, why? She goes, because my cousin who bought new construction, their mortgage payment was way higher than what they were told. And I was like, that's because you went directly to the developer. You had a salesperson from the sales office talk to you. You were using the developer's financing, and nobody taught you what you need to know.
Right.
They just wanted you to close the deal, and they didn't care about you. And I hate to say that, but it's true.
Sure.
So the thing is what you got to know is what I explained to them is that she goes, well, there's no way to predict what your mortgage payment's going to be after you buy the house. And I go, that's not true at all. There's all these calculators on the government websites, and we walk you through and teach you how to use those calculators to find out what your future payment is going to be so you don't get screwed over. There's so many people on fixed incomes that are going through this, that are moving from out of state. The villages, the headlines in the villages are going crazy right now. That whole community is having a lot of problems. A lot of
They clapping?
yeah, exactly, right? They're clapping. But those communities, a lot of people are stunned that their original mortgage payment that they budgeted when they bought their new construction home is not the same as 9 months later when they get their new tax bill, and their payment goes up because the taxes have changed.
Right. Okay. That was going to be my guess. It was property taxes.
And the whole thing is the property taxes when you buy a new construction home, if it already isn't built and assessed as a new construction home already, and it just looks as a piece of vacant land, they're basing your mortgage payment on what that tax is for just vacant land. But when you move into that house, it's going to be assessed as with the property on it, and it's going to go up a lot higher.
Totally different beast.
And you can figure out that number before you end up buying, but you have to have somebody that's got your back to do that.
Right.
So when I told the person about that, they're like, oh, maybe I do. And they go, well, I still want to buy resale. And I go, you can go ahead and do that, but your tax bill might be, your insurance bill might be a difference of under $2,000 for brand new construction versus $5,000 for resale. And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, you need to talk to me. We'll figure it all out for you. So there's a lot of misconception out there about the understanding your budgeting, which is also an affordability issue for people.
Which is one of the main reasons that you have to go to people that are great at what they do, Jim.
You think that's the way it works?
Yes. You're really scratching in on the point I try to make all the time.
And you brought up talking about that. The mortgage calculators out there that exist, but if you deal with us, you get even a better one that Mike has set up, and he'll work with you on that too. You can learn what your numbers are, know your numbers, right?
Your numbers, meaning Jimmy's numbers or Ross's numbers, Johnny's numbers.
How close were the dollars that you were planning when it settled in, when your taxes adjusted, when you bought your
right on the money,
on the penny?
Probably $100 or something.
Within, matter of fact, it was slightly lower.
Nice.
Than exactly what we thought.
I hate it when that happens.
When you pay less than you thought?
But
it was worse.
It was within $100 that we kind of knew what we were going into. So it was right on. And again, another factor for us was portability. Unfortunately, if you're out of state, you don't get that.
You don't get the portability out of state.
But if you are in state and you don't know what portability is, give us a call, because we have the people that can explain it to you. And it is a big money saver.
Huge.
The portability is huge. It's huge. So let's go ahead and do it one more time.
We don't do it right now.
And do the 1, 2.
Even though we still got like a couple more minutes.
It's okay. Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah. Positive.
Right. Can you do it with us, Jimothy?
Okay. All right. Just wait about 7 more seconds here. So.
All right.
Close enough. Okay.
All right.
Now I'm ready.
1, 2. See, it's better when Jimmy does it. I'm telling you. I knew it the whole time.
Thank you.
I hope you guys have a really, really, really good weekend.
Yeah, and I hope you do as well. Good to have you back and all recharged. Ross, enjoy your weekend. I hope you enjoy the game today.
Thank you. I hope you do too. It's just for entertainment purposes only.
Maybe they'll end in the tie.
That would be the best thing.
You know what? At this point, I guess. It's funny too.
I don't think it can happen in college.
Tied for worst team in the state.
Did you notice we didn't get one preemption this year?
That's right. We didn't get one preemption the whole year. Is this the last game of the year for them?
Last game of the year, yeah.
And they won't be going bowling, so last game.
Go Gators.
Go Gators. We are home of Florida Gator football. Remember that pregame starts at 1:30, 4:30 kick. It's Knowles and Gators. It doesn't get a whole lot better in the state than that. There's Canes fans going, we kick both years. It's like, yeah, you know what? We're not even concerned with you at this point. It's about us today.
How about the A&M, huh?
That was rough yesterday.
Lost one to Texas.
Dude, they just can't get into the SEC title game. They just can't get into the SEC title game. Brutal. Enjoy the college football. Stick around. That pregame shows at 1:30 today. I do have time to tell you, though, that it's all about FloridaTalkRealEstate.com, the one-stop real estate shop. We're talking about pros, experts in their field, and they work cohesively together. If you've experienced it before, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, and you're looking to buy a home, sell a home, you're stuck with a home, you don't know what to do, you need professional guidance in some aspect in the world of real estate, even down to student loan debt. Well, we got you. And I'm telling you, with the best of the best. One click away, FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. Know it, use it, love it, share it. You can change lives, including your very own, with the pros of FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. Jim DiPaola with the Florida Home Pros team. Have a great weekend.
Happy South Florida.
Ross Komarinetz, Brightwood Insurance, Juno Beach. Have an awesome weekend.
I plan on it.
I love that. And Jimothy, thanks for everything always,
Thank
my
you,
dude.
sir.
Thank you, Johnny, Jim, Ross. Have a great weekend, gentlemen. And thank you, too.
Yes. Thank you very much for being with us on a Saturday. The fact that you stream with us on Facebook or YouTube, listen on the old radio, maybe on the app. Thanks for making us a part of your Saturday. And if you do consume it later, maybe you're doing this not on a Saturday, but like on a midweek,